It is Sydney Derby time in the A-League men's. Sydney FC and Western Sydney Wanderers right next to each other on the A-League men's ladder. And with just a few matches left for this season, this is set up as a really, really crucial game for both of these teams who neither side has secured their place in the top six yet. There is a slight chance that they could drop out. Western Sydney Wanderers, who have been in some mixed form in the last month, losing last week to Brisbane Roar at home, very disappointing result. And for Sydney FC, they'd been looking really good of late, one of the top teams in the competition, you're probably going to say, in the last couple of months. Losing to Newcastle Jets, again, probably a result that no one saw coming. Struggling Newcastle Jets side defeated Sydney FC last time around. So this should be an interesting matchup. Two teams coming off losses, but a crucial game here. And it's nice having a derby match. I know we had a derby match in the elimination finals last season, but we've got a Sydney derby here with just 3 rounds to go. Every match is crucial, but this one is massive. And, you know, a win for Sydney here could potentially, because obviously we need, the likes of City or Brisbane to jump up, could potentially mean that Wanderers drop out of finals. So this is a huge matchup, isn't it? Good to see Sam in the chat. Says, "G'day, Lockie. How's your day been?" It's been good, Sam. Thanks for asking, man. Was very happy with my mighty Central Coast Mariners getting the win today over Western United 2-0 in Tarneet. And then we had, there's a lot going on today, actually. Right now, we've got the A-League Women's Elimination Final taking place as we speak between Western United and Newcastle Jets, and Brisbane Roar and Brisbane Roar and Newcastle Jets men's team are currently playing as well. I haven't checked the scores in those matches for about half an hour. So let's do it. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna pull up my phone right now and have a quick check of those scores. Here's my live reaction. Full time, Newcastle Jets have defeated Brisbane Roar 2-0 at Suncorp Stadium tonight. That is a massive result for the Jets. Hugely disappointing for Brisbane, and it sort of sums up their season a little bit. I mean, when you think back to, as we mentioned just before, Brisbane defeated Wanderers on the road last week, a rainy night in Parramatta. Back at home at Suncorp, losing 2-0 to Newcastle. Back-to-back wins for the Jets, who are out of finals contention. What a result, dude. Crazy. Stamatolopoulos and Taylor with the goals for Newcastle, who grab another 3 points. Really interesting. The question is, I don't know off the top of my head, does that rule Brisbane out of finals now, potentially? It's obviously where a lot of teams are running out of chances here. Well, if my maths is correct, so Brisbane's still 5 points off the top 6 with 2 games to go. So there is a chance, but they look, if Wanderers win tonight, or Sydney, well, Brisbane might still be in the race anyway if Wanderers were to win. Anyway, regardless, that's a shock result for Brisbane and a massive blow to their finals hopes. 2-1 to the Jets, says Sam. Thanks for the update, Sam. Sabrina Bolden with a double. There you go. Let's have a look at that one as well. A double header at Tarneet as well, which is great for Western United fans, isn't it? You got both the men's and the women's team playing that match there as well. So yeah, feel free to keep me updated in the chat on the other matches, the other proceedings. But all the focus tonight is on the Sydney derby. It's Sydney FC, a team who returning home tonight, looking to really secure their place in the top 6. And not only that, but obviously finishing, look those top 2 teams now, Mariners and Wellington, really running away with it. So for teams like Victory, Sydney, MacArthur, and Wanderers, and potentially City, if they can get the win tomorrow against Glory, it's all about finishing 3rd and 4th. Those positions are crucial. Between 3rd and 6th, you're playing in elimination finals, but the teams in 3rd and 4th get to host the Elim finals. Look, it doesn't mean much in the Sydney derby. That segues nicely into that incredible statistic. The last 3 Sydney derbies, the away team has won. The away team has won. Wanderers have great form at Allianz Stadium in the last couple of years since it has been rebuilt. Good to see Costa in the chat. My prediction is a draw, says Costa. Could happen. It could well happen. That probably is the expected result, to be fair. Both these teams pretty even. 1 point separating them on the ladder. Sydney ahead by 1 point. Sam, in the chat says, also as a Jets fan, we are in an interesting situation as we can decide who wins the Premier's Plate. Will we let our rivals win or the unexpected Phoenix? Well said there, Sam. Yeah, absolutely. Wellington Phoenix and Central Coast Mariners are both taking on Newcastle Jets in Newcastle's last couple of games, man. They're heading into those games with good form. 2 consecutive wins for Newcastle. And they host Wellington Phoenix next week. And we know that Newcastle defeated Wellington at their home stadium, over in New Zealand earlier in the season. There is a chance that the Jets get a massive result there, massive result in terms of the premiership race. But then you've got Central Coast Mariners in the final round of the regular season as well, so that should be interesting for sure. Costa says, only want to draw for the Adelaide finals, hopes to stay alive. Yes, indeed, Costa. I'm sure you're disappointed that Adelaide have had a bit of a underwhelming season this year. Nestori and Kunda getting on the score sheet last night for the Reds. But unfortunately for Adelaide fans, they did go down to MacArthur FC, who made a late comeback with just 10 men to make it 2-1. Very important 3 points considering MacArthur had been struggling in the last few weeks. And it's really fascinating as well when you look at the ladder and you've got the 3 Sydney teams all battling it out at the moment for who can, host that elimination final. We know Victory's looking in a pretty good position despite losing yesterday to Wellington Phoenix. So Phoenix defeating Victory 1-0 with a dramatic late goal to Finn Sermon. Huge moment for Wellington. And, of course, as we just mentioned, Adelaide going down to MacArthur 2-1. Central Coast Mariners defeating Western United 2-0 earlier this afternoon. Brisbane Roar also winning 2-0 away to Brisbane. Sorry, Newcastle Jets winning away to Brisbane. Sam also says it was so stressful as there were two Jets games to watch simultaneously. Yes, it's not often that happens. I think for the Mariners it happened at one point. We had like 2 Friday games. But yes, very busy night. Very busy afternoon and night for Newcastle fans. Hey, with the elimination final and the Brisbane match taking place at the same time, overlapping. No way, Costa. No way. Costa says, I reckon Central Coast Mariners should let Adelaide win in a few weeks and let Knicks have the title? No way. Oh, look, hey, I'll say, just like from a neutral point of view, it'd be awesome to see Phoenix win. If my Mariners weren't in the race, I'd be like, yeah, man, I want Phoenix to win. But it has been a really, really, really fascinating premiership race, and that crazy match last week, man. Central Coast Mariners winning it late at home against Phoenix. What a result that was, man. And both teams are level on points, but Mariners just ahead on wins. As we know, the wins column is the big one in the A-Leagues. And there's a serious possibility that Mariners go ahead and do the treble. Premiership, Championship, and AFC Cup. It could potentially happen. It's 8 matches away from happening. Mariners travel to Kyrgyzstan for a match on this Wednesday evening before returning home to take on Adelaide United on Sunday next week. Sam's also says, from your Melbourne Derby stream. Yes, last week. Thanks to everyone for tuning into the Melbourne Derby stream last week. It was a lot of fun. Was it correct that if Wellington win the Premier's Plate, the Asian qualifiers would go to 3rd place? I believe that's correct. Someone fact check me if I'm wrong. But that could well be true there, Sam. Yeah, that could well be true that would be the case. Knicks fan is in the chat, says, Sup Coast, how's it going? It's going well, Knicks fan. Good to see you here. Congratulations on the win last night, Knicks fan, your team. Wellington getting the late winner to earn a huge 3 points against Melbourne Victory at home last night. What a moment, too. Look, regardless of who you support, those scenes were crazy in Wellington last night. The Finn Sermon heading it home. Sorry, I kept saying Finn Sermon goal. It was an own goal, right? I mean, he was adamant that it was his goal, but I think at the official ruling own goal. But those scenes of those celebrations in Wellington last night were, it was great to see. It was great to see. those Wellington fans, man, you see them in the stadium and the noise they're making online too as well. They're so excited and thrilled with how this season's going. And look, whatever happens from here, man, I mean, this has been, well, it's Wellington Phoenix, man. This has been an incredible season, but they've already got their highest, they can only finish first or second, so it's going to be their highest finish ever. Wellington finished third a few years ago, but have never finished in the top two. It's huge. As Sam, I assume you're questioning. Sorry, I just saw a comment there in the chat about whose goal was it? I assume you're talking about that last night's goal, the potential Finn Sermon goal. I mean, Sermon definitely got contact, but it's hard to say whether it was going on target because the deflection came so soon after. So it's a tricky one to say, but you probably get to say it was an own goal. You know, it's hard to determine if it was traveling into the back of the net anyway. Hey, Nick's fan says we don't need the premiership. We don't need the premiership since we're going to win the championship anyway. I love the confidence, Nick's fan. Love the confidence, and who knows, maybe it'll be a Wellington Mariners grand final in about a month and a half's time. Great scenes at Allianz Stadium. Crowd is building nicely for this one. Sydney FC, Western Sydney Wanderers. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Vote in the poll. Who's winning the Sydney Derby tonight? Sydney or Wanderers? If you've got a specific score prediction, feel free to drop it in. The two teams are in the tunnel as we speak, set to come out. If you're in Australia and you want to tune into this match, you can watch it on Freeware TV on Channel 10 Bold, I believe. Also on 10 Play, Paramount Plus, so you can tune in and check it out. As both teams come out onto the pitch, let's talk about the team news. Sydney FC. Both teams with players out due to Ollie Roo's duty. We know that the Australian under-23 team is involved in the AFC Under-23 Asian Cup, which is getting underway on Monday evening, Australian time. So it's Hayden Matthews who returns to the back line in place of Jack Rodwell. Joel King starts at left back in place of Jordan Courtney-Perkins, who is on Ollie Roo duty. Max Burgess coming into the side as well. We know Robert Max suspended after receiving that controversial red card last week against Newcastle. For Western Sydney Wanderers, a couple changes. A key one in midfield. No Jorrit Hendricks for Wanderers. That is a blow. That is a blow for Western Sydney. So Josh Brolante, former Sydney championship winning player, is into the side, as is Dylan Parias is there as well. Ninkovic, obviously, former Sydney FC legend, playing tonight from the start for the Red and Black as well. Unchanged at the back there. Western Sydney Wanderers keep an eye on Antonsen and Borello, who will be hunting the goals for Michael Redan's side tonight. So that is a big blow. No Hendricks in midfield for Wanderers. He's been good this season, but Brolante obviously has immense experience. Good to see John in the chat. Says Premiership rates the Premiership over the Championship. Tan Lee in the chat says go Western Sydney Wanderers. Western Sydney, obviously, tonight missing a couple key players through Ollie Roo duty as well. No Nicholas Milanovic, who's been superb this season. One of the players of the season. Nicholas Milanovic, probably going to fair to say, Wanderers' best player this year too. And no Lockie Brook, who is also with the Ollie Roos. Yeah, Costa, I haven't kept up with that stuff as much, to be honest. But looking at some of the shots in the stands, there's plenty of fans from both teams are packing out this stadium, which is always great to see. One of the biggest games in the competition, the Sydney Derby. Is it the biggest and best game in the competition? What do you guys think? I think at the moment it probably still is. I think it is. Obviously, the Melbourne Derby's up there as well. But in terms of biggest matches in the A-League in the regular season, there's not too much else that comes close to a Sydney Derby. Kickoff just moments away. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like button before this match gets underway. You can also consider sending through a super chat to help support the channel. Crucial match for these two teams. Plenty of exciting matchups across the park here. We'll keep the lineup graphic updated throughout the evening. Fabio Gomez scored a lovely goal for Sydney last week in that loss against Newcastle. Keep an eye out for him. Anthony Caceres has been quietly having a really good season for Sydney as well. Sam says there's a blackout in the elimination final. No way. For real? No way. Is that right? Well, it's the first time they're playing a nighttime game, right? At Tarnee. Have the lights gone out? No way, dude. They just cut the highlights. Oh, dude, that's crazy. I'm checking the socials. I'm checking the socials to see if there's any news about this. Anyway, drama all over the place. A-League Women's Elimination Final happening as we speak. West United, Newcastle Jets. It's time for kickoff in the derby, of course, on the live stream. Maybe just slightly behind the broadcast you might be watching. If you're watching a stream of this game, you can hit pause and line it up to the watch-along. Here we go. Who will win this one? Such an important match. Not just it, obviously, being a Sydney derby match, but considering where these two teams sit on the table, we are underway. Sydney FC looking to control the early stages of this game. Let's get the clock up and running. Max Burgess into the side here. Has scored derby goals in the past. Scored a big one away to Wanderers last season, you might remember. Western Sydney looking to get on the front foot early. They're showing the record in the last 5 matches for both of these teams, and it's been pretty inconsistent. Losses and wins. Losses and wins. It's, as we mentioned earlier, the away team has been the team to pick up the 3 points on the last 6 occasions in the Sydney derby. Will that trend continue? Our clock is underway. We are 1 minute in. Keep me updated, Sam. Keep me updated. We're going to keep our eyes on the Sydney derby, but let me know how that's going. John says, wow, there's actually a blackout. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, dude. As I was saying, I mean, tonight is this elimination final is the first match, first nighttime match being played at Tarnee. Hopefully they get it sorted out, dude. That's crazy. So Sam says the refs are having a discussion. Dude, hopefully it's sorted out. I mean, it's an elimination final. What are they going to do, right? What are they going to do? Keep us updated, though. That's fascinating. So Sydney FC with an opportunity here in the set piece. Early goal would be huge. Low corner. Looks like it was a bit of a set play from the training park. Joe Lolly went for the low driving delivery, looking for Caceres, who made the run across the box. Have we seen this Wanderers goalkeeper kit before? Lawrence Thomas is wearing a real clean looking. You're probably going to say purple. It looks kind of purpley. Kit with some like red stripes on it. It looks really cool. I don't recall seeing that goalkeeper kit before. Pretty healthy crowd in attendance. Doesn't appear to be a full sellout, but very strong indeed. So, Zach Sapsford was the former Sydney FC player to score for Wanderers in the first derby this season at their stadium. Here's Gomez trying to get him behind. Well defended. Who will step up in this match? Plenty of threat on both teams. Attacking threat. Ryan Grant battling with Jack Clisby. Sydney FC have it on the right wing, looking to create some early opportunities here. Wanderers not allowing them much time, and there could be a break on here. Borello flying in with a bit of a challenge and loses it. Good to see Ruben in the chat as well. Says, yeah, the women's is a bit interesting right now. Yes, yeah. So if you're just tuning in, the A-League Women's Elimination Final, which is taking place right now, between West United and Newcastle Jets and Tarneet. So keep me updated on that. As we'll keep the focus here on the Sydney derby. Hayden Simmons sends a ball down the right-hand side. Dylan Perea is one of the fastest players in the competition. Getting to this one. Can't keep it in. And it's going to be a goal kick. Hayden Matthews back into the side after he missed out last week against Newcastle Jets. But he has returned in place of Jack Rodwell. One of those youngsters who have really had a breakout season this year, Hayden Matthews, has had a good number of starts this campaign. To be fair, that did come in, with the absence of Rodwell and Lacerda, who'd missed some games as well. He was called into the side from the academy and has performed really, 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 really well. That's something that the Sky Blues have done pretty well this season. And, well, for the last couple of years, you got to say, but more so this year. I think Ufuk Talay has sort of been, really smart, sort of giving minutes to youngsters. Not just throwing all of them in there. Some of them starting, some of them coming off the bench. Corey Holman's another one of these young players who have been really integral to Sydney this season. He's started pretty much every game almost alongside Luke Bratton in midfield. Bit of a collision on the right-hand side. Dylan Pereas has gone down holding his face. Looks all right. Back to his feet. Caceres looking to feed through Fabio Gomez. Gomez coming up against his compatriot Marcelo tonight. The two Brazilians. 6 minutes in, all in the derby. Any update from the women's elimination final? Newcastle Jets had the lead in Tarneet. Just reading a tweet here from West United. Players been disrupted by a power outage at the venue. We are working to find a solution as quick as possible and we'll update when play resumes. Dude. PK League indeed. Someone said it before. But yeah. Ashton's in the chat. I've been well, man. Good to see you here, Ashton. Oh, Gomez trying to get in behind. Chance here for Fabio Gomez. Trying to bring the ball down. Burgess. Lolly cuts it inside, chips it over the top. Grant. Oh, dude. I'll tell you what, nicely worked by Sydney. The little chip over the top from Lolly was nice, and Grant getting up in support. But Fabio Gomez did so well. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on the socials this week, this is Ryan Grant's 30th Sydney derby, which is massive. Massive. Nama's in the chat. Good to see you here, Nama. Jay says, I wish Layuni didn't leave Wanderers. Yeah, man. Amor Layuni was one of the most exciting players at Wanderers last year. He arrived mid-season and was fantastic for them. Grabbed a few goals. And there was a lot of talk around Amor Layuni in the off-season. Wanderers wanted to keep him around, I'm pretty sure. I remember reading somewhere that Melbourne City were trying to make a move for Liuni as well. Would have been great to see him stick around the league, because I think in a full season, Liuni could have, really torn it up. But no Liuni. Ashton says, my Victory had a sad loss. Central Coast Mariners may win the league. But there is a title race. And that's one of the exciting things this year, and a little bit different to past years. We've grown used to Melbourne City really dominating the premiership race in past years, where they've, even with a few rounds to go, they're, 9-10 points clear or whatever. Here's a chance for Sydney. Caceres has it in the box. Can he find a bit of space? The Sky Blues starting this game brightly. Can they test Lawrence Thomas? They haven't really managed a clear shot at goal just yet. Wanderers looking for Paris, who's got the ball still. Dylan Paris is bursting down the right. Pretty clear that Wanderers want to utilize that right wing where Dylan Paris is stationed. Just to go back to Ashton's point there about the title race. Yeah, I mean, we've got a premiership race this year. Mariners and Phoenix head-to-head right now. Level on points. Who will slip up in the final couple games, man? Wellington Phoenix have Jets away, then MacArthur at home. Central Coast Mariners, they have Adelaide at home and Jets away. Nama says, Central Coast Mariners, Knicks smell victory in the finals, indeed. A win for either of these teams tonight would go a long way to securing their finals hopes for this year. Both teams have spent a good chunk of the season in the top six, but especially Western Sydney Wanderers, who have been a bit shaky in recent weeks, could slip out, with them being in sixth place as we speak. Sam reckons someone flicked the switch. Hopefully that does get sorted out. Joe Lolly with a strike on target from outside the box. Pretty routine save for Lawrence Thomas, though. And goals for Western Sydney, two very experienced goalkeepers, who have spent time with the Socceroos, with Lawrence Thomas and Andrew Redmayne. Lawrence Thomas involved in the Socceroos Asian Cup squad back in January. Andrew Redmayne, obviously, is probably his most notable Socceroos involvement was that penalty shootout against Peru a couple of years ago. That World Cup qualifier. Sydney FC edging possession so far. Lights are back, says Ruben. Are the lights back on at Tarneet? Hopefully that's the case. Is that right? Nama, I believe you're asking that. Do you think Western Sydney Wanderers will do a big rebuild in the summer? Well, they like doing rebuilds, that's for sure. I tell you what. When you think of the players they have in their current lineup, Western Sydney, Ninkovic, well, we know this is going to be his last season, right? Will Antonsen be there next season? Sonny Kittle isn't going to be there. I think he's on loan, isn't he? Sonny Kittle. Let's come back to that Brillante's free kick headed away by Lacerda. But yeah, when you look at this Wanderers lineup, and there are a few players who are a bit older and could well move on after this season, so they might just have to. They might have to do a bit of recruitment. Sam says they flick the lights on and off again. John says lights are back. Players are coming to the field. We are back, says Sam. Dude. Oh my goodness, man. Well, this has turned into a bit of a double watch along, but I'm totally down for that. Sydney Derby, elimination final in the A-League Women's as well. So keep us updated in the chat, man. Because I'm only watching the Sydney Derby as we speak. But if you've got your eye on the A-League Women's elimination final between Western United and Newcastle Jets, feel free to throw some updates in the chat. Dylan Pareus. Again, Wanderers clearly looking for Dylan Pareus. Bit of a soft push there from Joel King. No foul. Correct call in my eyes as well. 13 minutes into the Sydney derby, 0-0. Western Sydney setting up in that defensive 4-4-2 block. Borello and Antonsen leading the line tonight for Wanderers. There's goals there in that duo, but it hasn't really been a successful season for them. Antonsen's got a few. Borello obviously missed a good chunk of the season through injury. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think it was the first Sydney derby of the season, right? Back in the early rounds of the campaign, where Borello picked up that injury that ruled him out for a couple months. Borello has just kicked it, and it's inadvertently hit his own player in Clisby. Sydney trying to wrestle it forward. Gomez to Lolly. Good chance, Sydney. Lolly. Good effort. Dude, he did well because there was like 3 or 4 players in front of Joe Lolly there. He finally found the space, went for the shot. Lawrence Thomas down to his left to make the save. Krasdog, good to see you in the chat. Did you watch the Jets game? If so, what are your thoughts on the game? I haven't watched the Jets game. I was busy setting up the stream. So I'm keen to catch the Jets match afterwards. Check out some of the highlights. I have seen the result though, Krasdog. And a 2-0 win for Newcastle. What a result. Disappointing one for Brisbane, but Newcastle with a couple consecutive wins. Oh, almost. In the back of the net for Sydney. Shot goes over the bar from Burgess. Lawrence Thomas was stretching there for that one for a moment. Krasdog, if you have any thoughts on that Jets match, let me know. It's been a thrilling round already. Already had 4 games completed in the A-League men's round this week. Quarter of an hour into the Sydney derby, 0-0. If you want to support the stream, hit the like button. You can also consider sending through a super chat. Goes a long way to supporting the channel. Lolly. Crossing. Towards Burgess. Marcelo. Heads it clear. The Sky Blues really starting to put the Wanderers under the pump here. Having a lot of the possession here, the Sky Blues, and not allowing Western Sydney much time on the ball at all. Hayden Matthews looking to go long. Oh, it's a good flick on. It's Gomez. Oh, what a chance. Oh, dude, was he onside too? Oh. Well, that's the moment for Fabio Gomez. That's why they bring him to the club to score in those opportunities. What a chance. He was well onside too. That is a stunning miss. Gomez simply has to hit the target there. That is shocking. That is incredible. Gomez right in front of goal and he just lobs it over the crossbar. No pressure on him. Early action. Early drama. Just 16 minutes in. The Sydney FC should be up here. Sydney FC should be up by 1 goal. Sky Blues desperate to win a home derby at the newly built Allianz Stadium. Beautiful stadium too. I've been there a few times. For the Women's World Cup. And for some Mariners games. One of the premier stadiums in the competition, Allianz. John says, what a nice flick on with the head. It was indeed. I think it was it Ryan Grant who was up there as well, who got a perfectly weighted flick on for Gomez. So it was set up nicely. You know, he was way through there, Fabio Gomez, and should have scored. Absolutely should have scored. Some great questions and comments in the chat. Appreciate you guys hanging out in the chat tonight. Ashton says the Knicks are going to need a new keeper after the season that Paulson is having. He's certainly surely going to be attracting interest from overseas as well, hey? Ruben says Canberra United are in more trouble than the Jets are. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been it's been a lot of the talk in recent weeks around Canberra United and Newcastle Jets and some concerns over their futures. Hopefully everything does get sorted out. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. We want both clubs to remain in existence. What's your snack of choice tonight, or meal of choice, or beverage of choice? It's a fun question we always like asking. I'm boring tonight. I have water. Last week we did a Melbourne Derby stream. A lot of you guys were here for that one. Thanks for tuning in for that. Oh, Anderson's in behind. Testing Redmayne for the first time tonight. Good opportunity for Wanderers. What did I have last week? I had like Easter chocolate. I had like a full-on Easter bunny and everything. So feel free to drop your Saturday night snack of choice as we watch the football. Brandon Borello. I've just shown him on camera there, just struggling a little bit. Oh, he's gone down. Oh, not again, dude. I literally mentioned it moments ago that it was the first Sydney derby where Borello picked up that injury. And he's just gone down holding his hamstring, and Marco Redan looks very concerned on the sideline. We're just 19 minutes into this derby, and Borello has gone down and doesn't look comfortable. He's feeling the back of his leg, that hamstring. Having a look at the replay here that they're showing us. It's not quite clear what happened there. Must have just felt something go. This could be the end of the evening for Brandon Borello, potentially the end of the season for Borello if this is a serious injury. Nama asks if the Jets and Canberra United not in the league, are no longer in the league, do you think there will be a bye every round? Dude, I hope not. I mean, I would hate for there to be buys. I would hate for there to be buys. I mean, we know they wouldn't be in for the A-League men's, for example, in whatever case that if in whatever situation, if Newcastle Jets were not to exist in the future. We have Auckland coming in, so there would still be 12 teams, so that would work out. So this is concerning here for Wanderers. It looks like Borello is going to come from the pitch, and dude, it's deja vu. Zachary Zapsford is going to come onto the pitch to replace Borello. Zapsford, the former Sydney FC Academy player, who scored the winner in the first Sydney derby this season. Zach Zapsford playing alongside Marcus Antonsen. Could he be the hero once again for Western Sydney? What an opportunity. Funny too, Zach Zapsford hasn't had that many appearances this season, but he's shown up in the big matches, I guess you got to say. But that is a massive, massive blow for Western Sydney early on in this contest. Really disappointing for Brandon Borello. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. The Socceroo. So, couple shots on target for Sydney. Just the one so far for Wanderers. Marcus Antonsen with an opportunity a few moments ago. Both keepers making some pretty routine saves, though. So Zapsford's into the side here up top alongside Antonsen. Ashton asks, who is the keeper of the year and who is the player of the year so far? Fornaroli is up there, and so is Izzo. Not in a biased way either. Hey, they've both been great. They've both been very, very good. Fornaroli's been a bit more quiet since the Asian Cup. I will say that. I mean, Fornaroli was well and truly the best player in the league before the Asian Cup. He was scoring goals for fun. Izzo's had a great season. But for me, it's Alex Paulson. He's made a tremendous number of saves and penalty saves as well for Wellington this season. He's been incredible. In terms of player this season, dude, I mean, where do we go there? I mean, look, Fornaroli's up there. There's no question about that. I think Taggart's been very, very good as well. Josh Nisbet's probably a shout as well from Central Coast Mariners. Costa Barbarouses has had a marvellous season for Wellington, especially considering they've been without Oscar Zavada for much of the campaign. Yeah, man, there's players from probably almost every team that you could throw in there. I mean, even from those teams towards the bottom of the table, like Apostolos Stamatolopoulos has had a great year for Newcastle. Joel King is going to get up from left back here. What can Sydney FC conjure on that left wing? Holman. They've been the more adventurous team so far tonight, Sydney. Sam says, I'd say Stammer is up there. He certainly is. He's definitely had his best season in the A-League. Ruben says Paulson has to be keeper of the season. Sam says I'd say if Alex Paulson doesn't win keeper of the year, something's wrong. Yeah. Bruno in the chat says, hey friend, hello to Brazil. Come on, Sydney. Good to see you here, Bruno. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Did Ufuk Talay just pop a strepsil? Ufuk Talay just pulled out what appeared to be like a pack of strepsils. Oh, great chance here for Wanderers. Oh, whoa. Dude. Whoa, what a chance. Antonsen hits the post. Sydney survive. Best chance of the game so far for Wanderers. What an opportunity. What a move down the right. Dylan Paredes, who's been having plenty of the ball down that right wing. What a delivery and what a chance there. Antonsen. Well, it's the two strikers tonight, Gomez and Antonsen, with golden opportunities, and neither player's taken it. They're showing the replay again. What a chance. Incredible. Antonsen right in front of goal. Surely has to place that in the back of the net. It's hit the post. It should be 1-1. It should be 1-1. "25 minutes. We've had some huge chances already, man. Oh, boy. Sam says, if I may ask Lockie, when the time comes, would you do an all-star game predicted squad? Oh, as in, predict the squad for the all-stars? Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be tricky, I guess. Some of the players I mentioned a few minutes ago would probably be in there. Like, Paulson, Barbarousis, Nisbet. Fornaroli, I think, is definitely going to be in there as well, considering he's leading the Golden Boot race at the moment. Who else would you put in there? Maybe Marcelo from Wanderers. Maybe Damien De Silva, who's been very good for Melbourne Victory. Brian Kartak, worth a shout as well. I think we're the All-Stars as well. For me, at least, it's a mix of the best players in the league and also the star players of the league. You know what I mean? Not necessarily they've had an incredible season, but players who sort of have become iconic A-League players. That's my take, at least. Ruben asks, do you reckon that there will be any weird picks in the All-Star squad? I know that the poll isn't what decides the actual team, so there is room for some not really commonly praised players there. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, as I mentioned there, Ruben, we could see some players who, maybe aren't at the top of their game right now, but players who are just, being consistent performers in the A-League. Looking at the likes, Josh Risdon, Ryan Grant. Who else could we throw in that conversation? Yeah, I know what you mean, though, Ruben. And we could well see some players like that picked for the squad. I think so. Any update from the A-League Women's Elimination Final? Newcastle Jets were leading Western United last I heard. And the lights are fortunately back on at Tarneet by the sounds of things, which is good. Meanwhile, in the Sydney derby, we're 28 minutes in. It's 0-0. Both teams have had golden opportunities. Now here comes Joe Lolly losing possession though. Antonsen for Wanderers. Gomez for Sydney. Both should have scored. Nothing much has happened to the women's, says Ruben. Sam says still 2-1 to the Jets, 65 minutes in. Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that. Feel free to drop any updates if anything happens there. But Newcastle Jets with a chance here to get the win. Oh, penalty. Penalty. Dude, as we... Potential to be 2-2. As we talk about some updates in the women's elimination final, we get a penalty for Western, I'm assuming there. Here's a chance for Sydney. Gomez missing the header. Wanderers have got numbers back. They're defending pretty well, Western Sydney. They're holding on. Sydney FC are knocking on the door, well and truly. Let me know how that penalty chance goes there for Western United. It could be a thrilling match there in Tarneet. Western United went all the way to the A-League Women's Grand Final last year. Could they be knocked out in the elimination finals to Jets, who finished in 6th place? What a story that would be. That would mean Newcastle would be travelling down to Melbourne again next week to take on Melbourne City in the semi-finals. That would then mean the winner of Melbourne Victory and Central Coast Mariners tomorrow afternoon would play Sydney FC in the semi-finals. Half an hour in the derby. Sky Blues definitely on top, you got to say. Nice long ball by Caceres, Burgess, King, Holman, Sapsford getting back. Sky Blues still there though. Burgess towards Gomez, just over the bar. Good opportunity from Fabio Gomez once again, the Brazilian striker, the target man. With Sydney's best opportunity so far, did well to win their header. Just couldn't get ahead of it. Above it, I should say. 2-2. 2-2, penalty converted. Oh, now this is interesting. They're showing a replay of a handball that, well, by the looks of things, VAR has shown no interest. Oscar Priestman, the ball definitely appeared to hit his arm. No handball, so VAR not interested in that one. Sky Blues here, man. Got to try and take their chances with all this pressure that they're building, but Wanderers could be in behind here. Zapsford is in the box looking for a teammate. Can't find one. Sydney FC, in the last couple of matches, they've been reduced to 10 men. Away to Perth and Newcastle, they received red cards. Jake Goodwood-Reich was sent off against Perth 10 days ago. And Robert Mack controversially received a red in that match against Newcastle. Here's a chance for Ninkovic. Goes down in the box. Don't think there's anything in it. Redmayne with the ball. Nice move, Wanderers. Two though. 2-2 in the elimination final between Western United and Newcastle Jets in the A-League Women's. %59 possession to Sydney FC, according to the broadcast. Make sure you stick around at halftime. We'll do some halftime griddle. I'll be playing griddle live here on the stream. We'll see how we go this time. I think last time when we did our griddle during the Melbourne Derby stream, we got 9 out of 9. So, but that was a pretty easy one too, wasn't it? Wait, did we get 9 out of 9? I think we did. Maybe it was 8 out of 9. I might have missed one. Nice ball over the top from Caceres. Joe Lolly down the right-hand side, looking for a teammate. It falls to Gomez, who does well to get a shot on target. But again, Lawrence Thomas is going to save that. Both teams definitely seem to be favouring the right-hand side. Joe Lolly again with a good move there to set up a chance for Gomez. Griddle still exists. Yes, indeed. As far as I'm still aware, yeah. Griddle is still indeed. Thanks for that, Tan Lee, for checking that. You got 9 out of 9. Thanks. I think because last week was one of the ones where there was no stats, right? It was just like all teams. So we'll see how we go with Griddle again today at halftime. Zaps fit his way down the left-hand side for Wanderers. Looking for Antonsen. He finds him. Antonsen! Goal kick. Over the bar. Well, this is really quickly developing into a story of the strikers. The number 9s. Fabio Gomez for Sydney FC. Marcus Antonsen for Western Sydney Wanderers. Both with numerous opportunities now to open the scoring in this derby. Neither striker able to take it. Antonsen of Sweden. Spent time in England as well. Fabio Gomez of Brazil. Gomez, of course, who made gave himself the perfect introduction to life in Australia. You might remember he made his Sydney FC debut in the Australia Cup final last year, scoring a couple goals to win it for Sydney FC against Brisbane. Thanks for that update as well. John says it was a contentious penalty for Western United. It looked like a Newcastle player was fouled in the lead-up. Drama. Drama in Tarneet tonight. Thanks, everyone, for providing the updates. Busy day in the A-Leagues. 4 matches across both men's and women's competitions. Antonsen has gone down injured. Play on. Burgess goes for the shot. Blocked by Marcelo. Antonsen slowly getting to his feet. Looks a little bit sore, but he's back up. Driving forward here is Lolly. Bit of a tangle with Priestman. Again, play continues. Nice pass from Caceres, who's orchestrating things nicely here for Sydney. He goes for a shot as well, and again, it's an easy save for Thomas. So, despite the fact that Sydney FC are now starting to rack up these shots on target, Thomas hasn't really been stretched that much. They've been pretty routine saves. Now here's Lolly, though. Right-hand side. Corner. Sam asks, says, wasn't there talk about VR being added to the other women's next season? I mean, hopefully. Hopefully, man. Fortnite, good to see you here. I'm doing well. Fortnite says, think I need to set up notifications from you because I always miss the streams. All good, Fortnite. Good to see you here, man. Good to see you here. Corner delivery from Sydney FC is headed away. As we edge closer to half-time here, scores remain 0-0. But some golden opportunities. Fabio Gomez came so close. Really should have scored. He was clear through on goal. And shot over the bar. Marcus Antonsen as well had a golden chance for Western Sydney. From close range, he hit the post. It's a good point there, Ruben, because you're right. I mean, some of the venues that the other women's use, One thing with the VAR is you got to make sure you have all the camera angles available. So they're going to make sure they have the infrastructure for that. But hopefully we do see it introduced to the A-League Women's next season. How long left in the women's elimination final? Surely we're into the final 15 minutes now there in turn 8. Burgess looking to feed Holman, who was ahead of him. Marcelo's doing a good job tonight at the back for Western Sydney. He's been on the end of a lot of things, breaking these attacks down. Really key figure in that Wanderers backline is Marcelo, as he has been for the last couple of years when he arrived at the start of last season for Western Sydney. The captain of this side. Such a consistent performer. Lolly again can create something here for Sydney. He looks for Grant, who swings in a ball. Good cross too. Burgess couldn't get any meaningful contact on it. Sydney FC have spent a lot of time in their final third. Wanderers have had to do a lot of defending in this half of football. 76 minutes into the women's elimination final. Thank you, Ruben. So not long to go. 2-2. Could we potentially get extra time in the elimination final? I might flick. I'll tell you what. At half time, I might also flick over to the elimination final. We'll keep an eye on that. Wanderers with a chance to break forward here. Again, they're looking for Parias, and he's in behind. Parias down the right. Can he find a teammate? Zapsford! Crucial block by Matthews. 40 minutes have ticked by. Another rare opportunity for Western Sydney. On the counter-attack. Lolly being pulled back by Clisby. He does not halt his run, though. Now he's down, and surely... No! Oh! Dude, Lolly is freaking out on the ground because he hasn't won the free kick. He is screaming at the linesman. And I'm stunned as well. I thought that was a clear foul. And surely Clisby at least has to be booked for the clear tug on the shirt. Joe Lolly has completely blown up at the officials. But the football is continuing. Wow. When does Nessery leave? Asked Sam. At the end of this season. So he's playing out to the end of the season. Then he's jetting off to Bayern Munich. That is right. Thank you for that as well, John. Adelaide have 3 away games to end the season. They do indeed. Away to Western United on Tuesday night. The Reds. Then to Mariners on Sunday. And their final fixture of the season is away to Brisbane Roar on the 26th. Caceres down the right-hand side for Sydney. Coming inside, trying to look for a way through. There's so many red and black shirts set up in a defensive shape here. It's hard to break down. Miloš Ninkovic here for Wanderers, playing at the ground where he experienced so much success with the Sky Blues. Obviously, the ground has been rebuilt since then. Oh, that's a good long ball from Bratton. He's found Grant in behind. Oh, it's in! It's an own goal, but the flag is up. The flag is up. Tom Beadling, oh my gosh. Thought he'd scored an own goal. The offside flag is up. They'll run the check. But looks like the correct call. Correct call. No goal. But a little moment of panic there. Tom Beadling. You could see he inadvertently put the ball in his own net. And then while he was on the ground, glanced over to the assistant referee to see that the flag was indeed up and it was the correct call. Surely Erin Quintus could still be eligible for the All-Stars. I mean, we hope so. We hope so. Love to see Aaron Quinter involved in the All-Stars. Are you going to do any career modes? Yeah, potentially, especially in the off-season as well, actually. That's definitely a possibility, Nama, yeah. Fortnite is a great question. What are your thoughts on a few A-League teams trying to get Neston to not play? I think it's really unfortunate that we always seem to bring our best players, bring down our best players and not support our future Socceroos. Yeah, it's not great. Hey, it was a pretty bad look. And for anyone who's unaware, so apparently some A-League teams, reportedly, were trying to get Football Australia involved to try and stop Nestor Aaron Quinter from playing in the A-League for the remaining matches due to the fact that he'd turned down an Ollie Roos call-up. An independent review was undertaken and everything was all good. Nestor Aaron Quinter was cleared to play. But, yeah, man. And as some opposition coaches have said, I think it was John Aloisi I saw today was like backing him to play. We want him to play. He's a fantastic player, and that'd be a real shame to stop his opportunities of playing a couple more games in the A-League. Jack Clisby, nice play. Wanderers, good chance here. Oh my goodness, what a cross, and so close for Dylan Parias. The delivery was delightful from Clisby. Nicely worked by Antonsen as well. Parias, so close, dude. 1 minute of injury time here. Stick around at halftime. We're going to be playing some griddle. Our A-League player guessing game. Olyroos game at 11 p.m. tonight. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Monday night. I believe Monday night is the first game of the tournament for the Olyroos, unless I've missed something. When is Central Coast Mariners playing in the Asian Cup? The AFC Cup. The Central Coast Mariners are playing their AFC Cup match this coming Wednesday. Half time. Sydney Derby, it's half-time, 0-0. I tell you what, though, could have been a few goals in this one so far. Marcus Antonsen had a great chance right in front of goal, hit the post. Fabio Gomez had a few opportunities off the boot and the head and could have easily found the back of the net on a number of occasions, but Lawrence Thomas standing his ground. Sky Blues, though, definitely feel like they've been the stronger of the two teams. Wanderers, their chances have come on the counter-attack. Is that the final? For the AFC Cup, not the final yet. Mariners are a couple of games away. The upcoming matches for Central Coast Mariners, they have 2 legs. They'll be playing Central Coast Mariners. And it's the... I've got to make sure I remember this correctly, because it's been really confusing, this AFC Cup run. It's the interzonal... No, it's not the interzonal. Or is it? No, it is. It's the interzonal final. So it's basically a semi-final. To simplify it, Mariners are basically playing a semi-final. That's a good way of thinking about it. Which it goes over 2 legs. And if they get through from there, then Mariners are through to the AFC Cup final. So there's a serious chance that Mariners could go all the way and win this thing. They've made it all this way so far. Sam says, Lockie, I think you need to rename the stream to Sydney Derby / West United and Newcastle Jets elimination final. Thanks for reminding me, Sam. Actually, I was going to switch over to that much now. Dr. Dingo in the stream. Good to see you here, Dingo. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to play Griddle shortly. But first of all, I'm going to change my stream over to the A-League Women's Elimination Final, because that is happening right now. Plenty of drama in that one. The lights went out in Tarneet earlier on this evening. Peak A-League, as some of you guys have been saying. Peak A-League indeed. And 85 minutes in, Western United 2, Newcastle Jets 2. How about that? Wow. A penalty not too long ago from Western United leveled things up. It's the first time that we're seeing a game played in the dark at Tarneed as well. So, 0-0 in the Sydney derby as well. Another piece of drama in that first half. Brandon Borrello, first forced... Oh my gosh, dude, English, talk. Forced off with injury. So that's a blow for Western Sydney. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for Borrello. But that is a blow, that's for sure. It is certainly a blow for Western Sydney. Has anyone played Griddle today? Let me know. Has anyone played Griddle today? Marcus in the chat as well. How do you sum up that first half, Marcus, for your Sydney FC? Marcus, a Sky Blue fan. Positive signs from the Sky Blues, but yet to find the back of the net. All right. Time for some Griddle. Hopefully, we have a decent run this time around. We got 9 out of 9 last time. We'll see how we go today. And Brisbane Roar, Sydney FC. What else we got here? Perth Glory, Newcastle Jets. We're looking for players as well who 35 plus years old on debut, which is always a tricky one, man. That's a tricky stat. And as well, 5,000 plus days since their last game. And for mathematicians, help me out. How many years would that be? Off the top of my head. Don't have the brain power right now to figure that out. It'd be the shorter answer is it'd be many years. Many years. Players from the early seasons. All right, Griddle time. We're playing live here on stream. No spoilers, please, in the chat. You can play this game at griddlegame.com. So, let's start with the tricky ones. 35 plus years old on debut. 5,000 days since their last game. I've got one in mind for this bottom right one. Romario, who I think was like 40 when he played for Adelaide, right? Yeah, 40. There you go. So, over 6,000 days. So, that gives us a bit of a marker in terms of sort of what sort of error to look for in terms of these players who played 5,000 days ago. 35 plus years old on debut for Sydney FC. Dwight York, was he over 35? There's probably some others I could definitely go for, but I'm just going to go Dwight York here. Oh, 33. Dang. 35 plus years old on debut for Brisbane Roar. Ooh. No, that's a tricky one. I want to go... Now, who was that Italian striker that Brisbane had like 7 or 8 years ago? It wasn't Michael Morone. It was... started with an M. Oh, dude, what's his name? I can't remember his name. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? I'm pretty sure he was Italian. Let's come back to that one. Let's look for a player who has played over 5,000 plus days since the last game for Newcastle Jets. So we're thinking about Jets players from those early years. Let's go. There's probably heaps we could go for there. Let's go Sasho Petrosky. Oh, what? Dude, that's painfully close. Dude, we're like less than 200 days away. What the heck? Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. There's probably heaps I could have gone for as well. Like, I don't know, Matt Thompson maybe? Griffiths. Andy Griffiths, I think. Oh, gosh. Wow. What a blunder. Let's keep on rolling. 5,000 plus days since the last game for Perth Glory. Let's go Jamie Harnwell. Oh, dude. What the heck? No way. Look how close we are, too. That's like really close to 5,000 days. We're just like a couple hundred days off. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Dang. Dude, we've guessed 4 and we've gotten 3 of them wrong already. Let's not slip up from here on out. Brisbane Roar, 35 plus years old, undebut. Oh. That Italian striker, I think, might have been over 35. The Italian striker who I cannot recall the name of. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, Danny Tiato, maybe. I'm not confident with that. Maybe. Oh, dude, 30. Dude. This is so painful because all my incorrect guesses have been really close. I've been really close. We were 1 year off on Danny Tiato, who was 34, not 35, when he made his debut for Brisbane. Oh, dude, this is a painful griddle. Okay, we're going to do a clean sweep from here on out. Newcastle Jets. Petrados, right? Yep. Glory and Sydney. There's probably heaps we could go for here. Danny Vukovic. Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar. Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Newcastle Jets and Brisbane Roar. Let's go for a bit of a niche one here. Maybe Connor O'Toole. Okay, so we recovered a little bit at the end, but oh my goodness, how close was that? Tan Lee, I think you're right. Tan Lee says this might be a worse griddle. That's rough. Let's have a look at some of the answers here for the bottom left one. That's the one. Massimo Macarone, if I'm getting that pronunciation right. That's the player I was thinking of. He's Italian, right? Scott McDonald, Damien Murray. Goodness me. I forgot Damien Murray even played for Brisbane Roar, dude. That must have been really early on. Who do we miss for Sydney? Oh, dude, Del Piero. Oh my gosh. I should have guessed Del Piero. For sure. That's a blunder. I went for Dwight York. I should have gone Del Piero. Let's have a look at what plays we missed here on that right-hand side. 5,000 plus days since the last game for Newcastle. Mark Bridge, definitely could have gone for that. Nicky Carl, I could have gotten that as well. A lot of players who we recognise here. Durante. Adam Griffiths. Why did I say Andy Griffiths before? Adam Griffiths. James Holland, yeah. Oh, dude, there's heaps here, actually. There's heaps here that we missed. Jade North. Dude. What about for Perth? So many. It's testing the knowledge, but yeah, man, we slipped today on Griddle. So that's Griddle for today. You can play Griddle at griddlegame.com. Powered by Ultimate Team. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just promoting what is a fun game. I'm keeping an eye on the elimination final here between Newcastle Jets and Western United. It's 2-2 with just a minute and a half remaining in injury time. So we are set for extra time in this elimination final. Sam mentioned Nacheski for Jets fun 5,000 games. 5,000 plus days since games. And Brandon O'Neill for Sydney and Perth. Yep, that's definitely a good shout. Oh, chance here for Newcastle. Oh, what a chance. Melina Ayres with a golden opportunity to find the back of the net for the Jets. Dangerous delivery. Took a deflection. Melina Ayres. What a chance for Newcastle right at the end of regular time in the elimination final. I better flick back to the Sydney derby. That has been our focus for tonight as well. Crucial matchup, this one. Who will go through in this elimination final, though this has been fiercely contested by the looks of things. Western United, long-range strike straight to the hands of the keeper. So it looks like we are destined for extra time in the women's elimination final in Tarneet. Sydney FC, West City Wanderers playing a massive Sydney derby match here. A win is huge, basically. It pretty much secures the finals and puts you in a good position to secure a home elimination final as well, which is very important, as we know. Extra time indeed, Ruben. But the second half of the Sydney derby is just around the corner. We'll keep an eye on the teams as they come out from the tunnel. And you guys can help me out as well if you spot any changes in the teams as they come out from the halftime sheds. Let us know. Sorry, Fortnite Troll, I missed your comment earlier on when I was playing Griddle. Do you think Torres is ready to leave the A-League, Lockie? And where can you see him next season? Looks like he's going to leave. Yeah, I think the reports are that he's set to depart the competition. And there was a tweet we saw going around that there was a number of clubs from countries all across the world interested in signing him. I think he could do really well at a sort of like a mid-level league in Europe, maybe, you know, somewhere like Portugal or the Netherlands, or even like the Championship in England. That sort of level, potentially. But look, I mean, as a Mariners fan, man, super stoked to have Angel Torres at the club this season. He's been great. Was unlucky not to get a goal today against Western United. He had so many great chances. So the team's preparing to come back onto the pitch for this second half in the Sydney derby. Western Sydney Wanderers. Can they wrestle back a bit more control in this game? They've been doing plenty of defending so far in the derby. Who wins it from here? Got any halftime predictions? Throw them in the chat. MacArthur FC, sort of the little brother. I like to look with the Sydney teams. You can think about it as if they're three siblings. Probably fair to say that Sydney FC is the big brother. They've been around the longest. Wanderers have come in as well, and then MacArthur FC, obviously the youngest brother. But currently, this stage sit ahead of both Sydney and Wanderers. That could all change though. So, teams are back out on the pitch. If you guys are enjoying the stream, want to support, hit the like button. You can also consider sending through a super chat. Greatly appreciate the support. Sydney FC was winning on the poll. We've ended the poll here, 27 votes. Sydney FC, 66%. Wanderers, 33%. And that's been what I've been seeing across the socials as well. We did a poll on the Instagram story. And looking like we've already got a change here. That looks like Tate Russell onto the pitch as we have kickoff for the second half in the Sydney derby. Sydney FC looking to get on the front foot straight away. Joe Lolly's already down and hurt. So Tate Russell is on. MacArthur is more like the middle brother, says Ruben, because they're irrelevant. But yeah, man, the Bulls ahead of these two teams. So it's interesting seeing how close all three Sydney teams are to each other on the ladder at the moment. So Tate Russell's onto the field. You'd imagine he's slotting it at right back. We'll have a look. No, it looks like Aiden Simmons is still there. Tate Russell appears to be playing left back. So looks like Jack Clisby has departed the field. Russell, more traditionally a right-sided player. has had limited minutes this season, has made some appearances off the bench. But now involved in this second half of the Sydney derby at left back. A fresh role for him. And he'll be very busy dealing with Joe Lolly. Ruben, thank you very much for the super chat. Very kind and generous. Appreciate the support, Ruben. Says up the roar. And says, don't mention the Jets match, please. Okay. Ruben, we won't talk about it. Ruben, greatly appreciate the super chat. Always good to see you in the live chats in our streams. Appreciate it, mate. Newy Jets in the chat as well. And yes, indeed, Newy Jets. We've been closely following the A-League Women's Elimination Final. Newy Jets, I'm sure you'll be hoping that Newcastle pour through an extra time, 2-2 in the Elimination Final. Big day for Newcastle. Men's team winning against Brisbane earlier on today. Once again, Ruben, appreciate that super chat. Thank you very much. So Tate Russell into the lineup graphic there at left back. Oh, Paredes is in. Oh, what a chance. How has that not gone in? Dylan Paredes, who's probably been Wanderers' best player tonight. What a strike. He caught it so well and it just cannoned off the post. He was... offside call would have been close. He was probably just on, though. Well done. Really nicely worked by Paredes. What an opportunity. It cannons off the far upright. And for the second time tonight, Wanderers hit the woodwork. Incredible. Marcus Anson in the first half, Paredes in the second. Sam asks, thoughts on Mariners potentially picking up Lucas Moragas. Great signing for Mariners. Hopefully it happens. As a Mariners fan, would love to see Moragas at the club. Big loss for Newcastle. But would love to see Moragas in the yellow and navy. We've seen it a lot in recent years. Some players shuffling around from both Mariners and Jets. Last season, we saw Aquilina move from Mariners to Jets, and McGarry made the swap from Jets to Mariners. Lockie Bayliss from the... Ooh, that is a potential handball from Priestman. Some appeals. Interesting to see what happens if VAR wants to intervene with that. Lockie Bayliss, another one of those players. He came from the Mariners Academy and signed for Newcastle Jets this season. Ruben says, Raw NPL have moved their home games to be local to me from now on, so I'm going to my first NPL game tomorrow. That's exciting for you, Ruben. Hope you enjoy. Here's a replay of that handball, and no penalty for me. That arm is pretty closely tucked into the body there for Priestman. Certainly some big appeals from Sydney FC, but correct call was made. No VAR intervention required. But yeah, man, just on that Moragas story, we're already seeing plenty of news surrounding a number of players for next season. Central Coast Mariners, plenty of news around the Mariners actually of late. Max Ballard appears to be set to secure a move to Portugal, which is fantastic news for him. What a player he's been for the Mariners over the last few years. Angel Torres, as we were talking about earlier on, looks like he's set to depart the Mariners at the end of the season as well. 5 minutes into this second half, and it's been fiery already. Chances at both ends. Drama. No surprise, of course. Always drama in this matchup. Oh, Fabio Gomez has charged down this clearance from Marcelo, and Gomez looking for a way past Marcelo. Corner. Moragas is a great young player indeed. Yeah, he's been one of Jets' more consistent players at left back this season. Lucas Moragas currently over with the Olyroos. He'll be involved in the Under-23 Asian Cup for Australia. The left back. Interesting one as well. It could maybe suggest, I'm just pure speculation here. it could maybe suggest that maybe Jacob Farrell may be on the way out from Mariners, which would be interesting. Both could play together, though, with the way Mariners play, with Jacob Farrell maybe playing more as a centre-back. Jay Dizzle in the chat, good to see you here, says Nizzy to City would be hard to see. I did see that rumour a while ago on the old socials. That would be hard to see. Yeah, Mariners fans, that would that'd be difficult. Josh Nisbet has been so good for the Mariners for the last few years now, and to see him play for any other A-League club would be tough. Would be tough. It'd be one of the toughest, man. There hasn't been too many players that I've been like that that have been in that situation. Like, funnily enough, looking at Milos Ninkovic now playing for Western Sydney Wanderers. That must have been difficult for Sydney fans to see Ninkovic go from their club to their rivals. I guess that's what it would feel like if Nisbet was to go to even Melbourne City. It'd be hard. When's the next Socceroo game? Asks Sam. Sam, the next Socceroos game is, well, the next scheduled one is in Perth on, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but it's in June. It's in June. So the Socceroos will have two World Cup qualifiers in June. As we know, the Socceroos have already secured their place in the next round of qualifiers. So those qualifiers in June will be pretty chill, you'd imagine. Ruben says any Moragas move would have to be replacing Farrell, in my opinion. Yeah, look, Farrell's had a good season this year, so maybe he's attracted some interest overseas, which would be well deserved if he scored that move. Here's Sydney on the attack. Caceres with a good delivery. Close to Gomez, but a little bit too close to Thomas, the keeper. So, Wanderers have already made 2 substitutions in this game. Zapsford on for the injured Borello. And Tate Russell on for Clisby at left back. Sky Blues yet to make a change yet, but have plenty of firepower on the bench. Here comes Joe Lolly off the right-hand side. Goes short for Caceres. Looking to dribble his way through. Runs down a cul-de-sac. Ruben says, the World Cup qualies matches have been less exciting these days, given how easy it should be. I mean, especially at this round. I mean, obviously, as the rounds go on and the less and less teams involved, the next round's going to be really tough, I think, for the Socceroos. We know that so many teams across Asia are getting stronger and stronger, their national teams. So the next round, the Socceroos will really have to make sure they're on top of their game. Sam, good point Sam brings up here in the chat. I wonder whatever happened to A-League All Access, as I thought that was a good thing the league did. But now it seems to, it doesn't seem to exist anywhere anymore. I think they are still doing it, but it's just not being advertised as much. They're doing it, but they're not as big episodes. They're just little short stories. They're like 5-6 minute episodes. I haven't even watched all of them yet. They recently did one on Giancarlo Italiano, Wellington Phoenix head coach, I think. It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, one could maybe guess that maybe it's due to the fact that they're having to sort of cut back on costs, maybe. Yeah. G'day, Ben, in the chat. Great question, Ben. Thoughts on Auckland FC joining the league next season? Very excited about it. Great to have another New Zealand team in the competition. Any players you see heading that way over there over the winter? Good question, Ben. We've seen a lot of rumours. I've heard the Jake Brimmer rumour. I think I heard something about Jamie McLaren. I mean, that would be a tremendous signing. Dan Hall from the Mariners, I think, has been linked with a move there as well. So plenty of names. I could see all of them happening, to be honest. We could well see, I mean, we could see some Sydney FC players make the move, considering that Steve Corica obviously knows Sydney very well. He could look to maybe bring some players over there. You know, maybe someone like a Anthony Caceres or a Max Burgess or a, who else? You know, even like a Jack Rodwell, you know. An experienced defender over there. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. So maybe some former or current Sydney players might make the move to Auckland as well. But yeah, very curious to see what kind of team Steve Corica builds at Auckland for their inaugural season. Sam says, all I say is rip to Perth Glory, not really having any rivals of their own once Auckland joins the scene. That'll be the new distance derby, right? I think is what we're saying. Because that'll be the new longest trip. I think Auckland to Perth. Marco Rojas joining Auckland, says Nama. Yeah, that I could certainly see that happening as well. That seems to make a lot of sense. Marco Rojas. Another change for the Wanderers. Gabriel Kleur set to come onto the pitch. Another one of these right backs. Wanderers seem to be have an abundance of right-sided defenders. An Auckland-based Knicks fan is Ben. Very good, Ben. It's interesting, actually, seeing a lot of the talk from fans in New Zealand. And, there's obviously a lot of fans in Auckland who support the Phoenix. Such as yourself there, Ben. And, whether they change their allegiances to Auckland. I mean, what's your thoughts there, Ben, as someone who is in Auckland and supported Knicks? Are you changing your allegiances to Auckland or remaining loyal to your current team, the Wellington Phoenix? Tommy Smith says, Nama. Could definitely see that as well. It's fair to look at a lot of the New Zealand players playing across the A-League, even someone like Clayton Lewis and MacArthur, maybe. Yeah, there's probably a number. Maybe even Storm Roo from Mariners, maybe. Again, this is all just pure speculation. Let's keep an eye on who came off the pitch there for Gabby Kleur. We have seen Gabriel Kleur playing midfield a lot recently. Doesn't look like he's replaced any of those midfielders, so it might be a change at the back. It might have been Tom Beadling, in fact. Let's keep an eye on that. Wellington Rays, so no allegiance changing here. Very good, Ben. Very good. I like that. Sticking to the roots. Sticking to the roots. Possession in the second half definitely favouring Sydney FC, according to the broadcast as we approach the hour mark. So Gabby Kleur looks like he is playing at centre-back, and looks like it is Tom Beadling who has come from the field. So another change in that back line for Western Sydney. Gabriel Kleur was sort of the first choice right back last season before he picked up an injury and Aiden Simmons came in and took over. Aiden Simmons has been the first choice this season as well. Gabriel Kleur has been making appearances off the bench lately for Wanderers. And again, more traditionally a right back, now playing in the centre defence alongside Marcelo. Update from the elimination final. Thank you, Sam. Says 3-2 Jets goal. Melina Ayres. Wow. First half of extra time. Thank you for that update, Sam. Extra time in the elimination final. What a moment. Melina Ayres, who came close to scoring at the end of regular time, has a third here for Newcastle. What a moment for the Jets. So close to progressing through to the semi-finals. Huge. An hour of football has been played at Allianz Stadium. It's Sydney FC 0. West Sydney Wanderers 0. Chances have started to dry up just in the last 5-10 minutes. Dylan Parias with the best chance so far. Oh, good switch here, though. Lolly has it. Looking to get past Russell, and Russell does well to get the block in. And it'll be a corner for the Sky Blues in front of the Cove. Sydney FC fans singing loud and proud in the stands, looking to cheer their team home. The last 6 derby matches have been won by the away team. A little bit of wrestling going on in the box. Referee having a chat to Gabriel Cleur, who's getting a bit physical with Fabio Gomez. Sydney goes short from the corner. Lolly swings it in. Or towards Gomez! And his header is straight into the grasp of Lawrence Thomas. Nice corner, nice move too. And Gomez did well to find the space. But it was straight at Thomas. And another golden dude. How many times? I mean, really, Fabio Gomez on another day would have had a hat-trick at this stage. So many great chances. So many great chances. Nama in the chat. Good to see you here, Nama. As always, in my opinion, Ruben Zakovic isn't underrated. Well, let's come back to that comment there, because Wanderers almost in behind. Breaks down pretty quickly there. Nama says, in my opinion, Ruben Zakovic is an underrated coach. He changed Perth after their worst season and made them ninth. That's right, they did finish ninth in the table. And he changed Brisbane Roar season to, and still doesn't get a lot of credit. Yeah, I think you got a point there, Nama. He's done a good job. And yeah, Glory were okay last season. They were a couple of results away from playing finals football. It just slipped away from them in the end. They struggled to win their away games, but they were good at home last year, Perth Glory. They were. So Zakovic did do a decent job there. And it's been a tricky season for Brisbane. There's been a lot of change there off the park. So Ruben has done his best to try and sort of stabilise things, I think, a bit. Sam says it's funny how the elimination final has probs been more exciting than the Sydney Derby, but that may just be because there's been goals, someone unplugging the power cable to charge their phone, chaos. Dude, is that actually the reason? Can you imagine? I mean, that would well and truly be PK League if that was the actual reason. So Sydney FC with another corner opportunity. They're being forced back here. Long ball, looking for Burgess. Can't keep it in play. So, it's interesting. We've seen 3 separate substitutions for Western Sydney Wanderers. Not a single substitution for Sydney FC. Camera was on Ufuk Talay just a moment ago, Sydney FC coach. You just wonder, when is he going to make the move and make the change? Appreciate you guys coming in with the updates from the A-League Women's Elimination Final. Jets with a 3-2 lead in extra time, courtesy of Melina Ayres. Grant on the right-hand side for Sydney. Has to go back to Lolly. Oh, that's a smart pass. Holman's made a good run. But again, they're struggling to break through that back four. Good defending Priestman. Given straight away, though. Caceres whips it in towards Gomez. Gomez still with it in the box. King straight into the legs of Marcelo. Wanderers, dude. This is sort of developing into the story of the game. This Wanderers defense is not making too many mistakes tonight. Thank you for the update, Sam, in the chat. Says half-time, extra time, 3-2 Jets lead. 15 minutes away from securing a spot in the A-League Women's semi-finals. Newcastle Jets. John also saying here, I definitely wouldn't call Zakovic underrated. "65 minutes played. 0 on the derby. Who will crack first? Who will slip? As this match wears on, the tension is building. A win is so important. A win would go a huge way to securing finals football and potentially a home final. Ninkovic has been collected here and is gone down hurt. Play continues. Joe Lolly. Surely that's a foul. No, referee not interested. And again, Lolly is on the floor in disbelief. and is now running over. Cannot believe the decision. Definitely looked like a foul. I can see where the ref's coming from there. Lolly has sort of just run into Russell there, but I mean, Russell's made enough contact there for there to warrant a foul, in my opinion, at least. And Alireza Fagani, the referee, is going to book Ufuk Talay, Sydney FC coach here, not happy with Talay's complaints. Yellow card has been brandished. Talay not happy. Substitution once again. Wanderers, now this is interesting. This is their third substitution window. There's 66 minutes in, and Wanderers, this is going to be their final sub. This is it. They don't have any more windows after this. Marcus Eunice, I think, was a player. Was being prepared on the bench. A player who's been in good form for Wanderers' NPL team of late. Yet to see what's happening with this change. It is indeed Marcus Eunice set to be introduced in this Sydney derby. What a moment for the youngster. Milos Ninkovic looks like he's departing. Eunice wearing number 39. Zapsford was the young player to step up and win it for Wanderers in the first Sydney derby this season. Could Eunice be the player this time around? It looks like Sonny Kittle is also being prepared as well. Sonny Kittle, play with immense experience in Europe. So, Wanderers' bench has been emptied then. No more changes to be made. We'll have a look at how that Wanderers front line lines up now. It looks like Parias might be going into the central striking role. Sabsford lifts it in towards Eunice. And a shot from Parias. Couldn't get any power on it. Falls to Redmayne. So, really fascinating to think that Wanderers have completely emptied their bench now. They can't make any other changes. No substitutions left to be made for Wanderers. Still with 20 minutes left to go in the game. Sydney FC yet to make a single change. So it's the Wanderers who certainly have the fresh legs as we head into the final 20 minutes. So it looks like it is Parias playing through the middle there. Alongside Zapsford, Kittle will play off that left-hand side where Ninkovic was. Marcus Eunice will patrol that right flank for the Wanderers. Set piece opportunity for Sydney FC here as we tick past the 70th minute mark. Bratton looks like he's going direct. He lined up with power. Deflection will mean it's a corner. Certainly loves a good long-range goal, does Luke Bratton. Scored a few in his very long A-League career. An A-League career that has seen him play at Brisbane Roar, at Melbourne City, now at Sydney FC. Dylan Parias, nicely done. He's well and truly been Wanderers' best player tonight. Look at this pace from Parias. What a run and what a challenge from Anthony Caceres. Doing some defensive work there, the creative midfielder. And shutting down that attack. Now here comes Sydney. Once again, Lolly with a strike. Oh, it spills and Gomez scores. The offside flag stays down and the deadlock is broken. Gomez finally has his goal. And the players celebrate with the Cove. The slight question mark of offside. But Sydney FC celebrate what could potentially be a massive, massive goal in the context of the race for a home final. What a move. Lolly down the right-hand side. The delivery well and truly onside. It's absolutely a goal. Fabio Gomez, who has been testing Thomas all night. Lawrence Thomas will be so disappointed with that man. He wasn't able to hold it. And Marcelo couldn't react quickly enough. Fabio Gomez is there to place it into the back of the net. Indeed, John, well onside was Fabio Gomez. The parry from Thomas. And look, not much Marcelo could do there, to be fair, to the centre-back. It just sort of came to him so quickly. He couldn't control it or clear it or whatever. Fabio Gomez is there, man. What a moment for Sydney FC. It's 1-0 in the derby. That's 11 goals for the campaign for the Brazilian striker, who has had a pretty decent season come the end of things. Has been a bit quiet at times throughout the campaign, but 11 goals, not bad. Double digits. That is massive. And Sydney FC, well, credit to them. They've been pushing for the entire match since kickoff. John says Thomas will be disappointed he didn't spill it wider and further away. I mean, that would have been the go in that situation. Hey, just to sort of just punch it out to his right where there was more space, but it spilled awkwardly into Marcelo, and that just cleared the path for Gomez to tap it into an empty net. It's not the prettiest goal to win a derby, but it's a truly hugely important goal for Sydney FC. Now, this is going to be interesting, this final 16 plus minutes. Because Wanderers, who have been doing so much defending and have done well to utilise the counter-attack at times. Parias has been really involved. Western Sydney Wanderers need to go on the attack now. They have emptied their bench. And they need to go for it. The youngsters are on for Wanderers. The likes of Eunice, Sapsford, Priestman, these young players who have an opportunity here to step up and be a hero for their team. Joe Lolly driving through the middle of the pitch. Good run. This result would lift Sydney FC up into 4th place on the ladder. Gabby Cleur looking long. It's cut out. You can see already, man, after that goal, this game is starting to open up. You just wonder as well, when is Sydney FC going to make these changes? At this stage now, where they really have to sort of defend this lead, that's going to be the priority for them, you'd imagine. Would love to get some fresh legs on there. Ruben says Newcastle score again. 4-2. That is huge. Sam says 4-2. Game, set, match. What a moment for Newcastle in the elimination final. Appreciate the updates from Ruben and Sam and everyone who's been jumping in the chat. That is monumental. Now here's Parias trying to find a way through. Well defended by Gabriel Lacerda. But that is huge. Elimination final in the A-League Women's. Newcastle Jets up 4-2. Finished 6th this season. Are set to knock out last year's grand finalist in Western United. Sam says bring on Melbourne City. Corner here for Wanderers. Away by Gomez. Brolante. Kittle. Priestman. Goes from long range. Kittle on the left. Wanderers have numbers forward here. This is the first time we've really seen a good number of Wanderers players committed forward, but it means Sydney can hit on the counter if they want. Lolly loses possession and Eunice will pick it up here for Western Sydney. Marcus Eunice using the footwork. Nicely done, but Redmayne will pluck that out of the air. This is going to be a very, very intense final stanza of this match, man. Western Sydney Wanderers, they know the situation. 34 points. Will it be enough to secure finals football? Melbourne City play tomorrow against Perth Glory. A win for City would bring them right on the doorstep of the top 6. Ball over the top here. Caceres just can't control it. Simmons trying to get up from right back. Wanderers, you can see here once again, trying to commit more numbers forward. Eunice, nicely worked. Great challenge, Lacerda. Very good once again. A couple good defensive interventions from the Brazilian centre-back in the last minute. Bit more space now in midfield. Kittle looks for the switch towards Russell, who will keep it in. Russell swings it in. Dude, the delivery's good. What was Marcus Eunice doing there? He looked like he was trying to get his foot to that, but the ball was like 2 meters up in the air. It was unless he was pushed or something. Here's the replay. Oh no, he was trying to use his head. He was just maybe just gently pushed off balance there. Great opportunity though. Good cross as well from Russell. So, incredibly, if I'm not mistaken, Sydney FC are yet to make a sub. Oh, literally, as I say that, Kacharski's coming on. Wow, I made it happen. I brought it into existence. Max Burgess has worked hard tonight on that left-hand side for Sydney FC. He will be coming from the field. Jaden Kacharski coming on. Young Jaden Kacharski onto the pitch. You'd imagine that might shift Caceres out to that left-hand side. Kacharski. No, it looks like Kacharski is going to be deployed on that left-hand side, in fact. Nalma asks, what happened to Yule? It's a great question. It's a great question. What has happened to Valentina Yule? He may have been injured. If anyone knows, let us know. But yeah, he was signed. Well, I guess the main thing is Brandon Barrella's back, right? And Valentina Yule was signed earlier on in the campaign as a... it's a bit of a head clash here. Valentina Yule was signed as an injury replacement for Barella, but Barella is back. That is definitely a head clash. Hopefully both players are okay. There is some blood involved. It's Zach Sapsford and Luke Bratton, who are both being treated now for this head clash. As we're going to enter the final 10 minutes here in this Sydney derby. What a evening, what an occasion. Great scenes in the stands. The Cove and the RBB, both sets of fans making plenty of noise tonight. We're going to have a bit of a stoppage here for this treatment. Both players look to be okay, just getting treated for some bleeding. Showing that replay of that goal as well. Fabio Gomez was the man to break the deadlock not too long ago. What a moment, Sydney FC. That goal could be monumental for them and really go a long way to securing their place in either third or fourth position to try and be in that position to host an elimination final. Western Sydney Wanderers now, as it stands, in a really, really precarious position, aren't they? Because Melbourne City are knocking on the door. When you look at the remaining games for Wanderers as well, I mean, next week is shaping up as a huge match, man. Saturday, next week, 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Western Sydney Wanderers host Melbourne City. What a match that could be, man. That could be the decider for sixth place. Wanderers might well lose this game, and Melbourne City, you'd imagine they'll get the win tomorrow against Perth Glory. That's the expected result. I think it's fair to say. And if that happens, there'll be 1 point separating Wanderers and City, and it'll be basically whoever wins that will probably go well through to claim sixth place on the ladder. And then Wanderers, well, they've taken on the two teams from Melbourne. Obviously, three teams in Melbourne, but the two teams in central Melbourne, if you like, not western Melbourne. Melbourne Victory away for the final game of the season. So it's a tough final couple games of the season for Western Sydney Wanderers. A little bit easier for Sydney FC, though. Final home of the final two games of the season. Away to Macarthur. That'll be tricky. But then home against Perth Glory. Again, you'd got to see that as a winnable game for the Sky Blues. Full time. There we go. Thank you for that update, Sam. How about that? Full time whistle. The end of extra time. Newcastle Jets have knocked out last year's grand finalist Western United in the A-League Women's Elimination Final. 4-2. Huge. Congratulations to you, Sam, and your Newcastle Jets. That is a huge moment for the Jets, who will go through to take on Melbourne City in the two-legged semi-final matchup. Thank you for the update as well, John. 4-2 to Newcastle. So, with that elimination final wrapping up, a dramatic evening in Tarneet. 4-2 to the Jets. Sydney FC looking to hold on to this 1-goal lead in the derby. "84 minutes played. Sydney FC, you got to say, have been the better of the two sides. Wanderers, their chances have come on the counter-attack. They've had a couple good ones. They've hit the post twice. Kaczarski lifting it to the far post. Lacerda won't keep that in. So what do Wanderers have here now? This is a real test for Western Sydney. A big game, a crucial game, a derby match. And a match, considering that they've got two tricky matchups after this, really going to get some sort of result from this. Luke Bratton just marshalling that ball out of play. His coach applauds it. Sam says, "I'm so happy no matter what happens next season. I'm proud of both my teams." Love the good vibes, Sam. Newcastle Jets women's team. What a story it's turning into. They keep the dream alive. Now here comes Lolly for Sydney. He shoots. Pulls it a little bit too much to that near side, and he misses to the right. I hope so too, Sam. I think we all hope the Newcastle Jets continue to thrive in the future. Hopefully it does eventuate that the ownership situation gets sorted out. Kittle to Sapsford, who's bundled off the ball. Brillante. Wanderers with a spell of possession here. Oh, nice flick for Sapsford, but he can't find a teammate. 4 minutes in regular time. Had a couple stoppages. You'd imagine we'll probably have at least 5 minutes of injury time here, at least. Marcelo with space in the middle of the park. Swings it out to Simmons. Even more space on this right-hand side if they keep going here, Wanderers. Kittle will turn back inside. Huge blow earlier on in this match to have their Socceroo striker Borrello come off injured. Have the Wanderers got the belief to find this equaliser? It's a club that demands success, demands results. Western Sydney Wanderers and... Oh, now what's happening here? Ali Reza Vagani has brandished a yellow card to Joel King. I didn't quite see what happened there. Perhaps a bit slow to give the ball back. I don't know. Anyway. Final stages of this derby. What have Wanderers got? Appreciate you guys tuning in for this. Hit the like button if you want to support. You can also consider dropping in a super chat to support the channel. Thank you very much, Ruben, earlier tonight for his $5 super chat. Here comes the ball inside towards Corey Holman, who, to my knowledge, is yet to score an A-League goal. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Corey Holman scored this season. Good delivery from Caceres too, but Simmons did well to head that out. And it'll mean another set-piece opportunity for Sydney FC. They're taking the time to get over to this corner here. Anthony Caceres will deliver. Simmons, in the meantime, has picked up a yellow card. Not sure what for, anyway. Couple random bookings in the last couple minutes. Here's King. Delivery's good. Marcelo's there once again. He's been good at the back tonight for Wanderers. And we'll be disappointed that he wasn't able to deny that goal for Sydney. Sky Blues will go up to 38 points with this result. Ahead of MacArthur FC. Got some great matchups next week, man. I mean, with teams right next to each other on the ladder. Next week, man. Primetime kickoff. MacArthur FC hosting Sydney FC. And then earlier on that Saturday, Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Melbourne City. Huge games next weekend, dude. Huge. The fixtures are really teed up nicely. There's going to be a corner here once again for Sydney. Wanderers thought it was going to be a goal kick. Lolly. Set to deliver. Looks like he's almost going direct to goal there. Thomas claims it pretty easily. Goes for the pass. The throw out to Eunice, who will look to stretch his legs here down the right-hand side, showing great pace. What a run from Eunice. He's run the whole field and goes for the delivery. And look, dude, what a moment. Marcus Eunice sprints like 90 meters with the ball, earns his team a corner, and then urges the Wanderers fans to increase the noise, increase the support. And we've got 7 minutes of injury time. 7 minutes left for Western Sydney Wanderers to get a result here. Will Sydney FC finally get this home win in the derby? Kittle, out swinging delivery. Away by Lacerda, who's been good tonight for the Sky Blues. Pass has gone forward here, and Sydney are away on the counter. Kaczarski, Simmons is wrestling with him. Kaczarski still goes on, cuts back inside. The shot is straight at Thomas, and Gomez isn't happy. And I think Gomez has probably fair enough that he's not too happy with his teammate there. He was in a lot of space there, Gomez. Needed to receive the pass there a bit earlier on. Kaczarski did well to at least get the shot away. What an opportunity, though, for Sydney. 6 minutes left. Klur. Wanderers committing numbers forward. Sydney FC now doing the defending. Numbers at the back. Bratton with a bandaged head after that head clash earlier on. Both players all good after that head clash. Oh, and a bit of a moment. Oh, a bit of a flare up here indeed. Grant and Russell. Now, Ryan Grant, I think, he cleared the ball away. I don't think anything was meant by it, but it did hit Zabsford, who was on the ground. And a yellow card has been awarded. Well, awarded is the wrong word, eh? A yellow card has been shown to Ryan Grant. And the Wanderers players all of a sudden were right up in Ryan Grant's grill there. You can see the frustration. For a second, you thought it was about to boil over. Ryan Grant grabbing the shirt of Tate Russell there. So, Wanderers, with less than 5 minutes to play, have a free kick out wide. Sonny Kitzel on set-piece duty since he came off the bench in the second half. Keep an eye on Marcelo. Keep an eye on Gabriel Klur. The players providing the height. Eunice is in there. Dylan Parias, who's been good tonight as well. Aiden Simmons at the far post. Zach Sabsford, who scored a goal in the first Sydney derby this season, also at Allianz. Kittel. Headed away at the near post by Kaczarski. Wanderers have to go backwards. Kittel on the left. Oh, good pass forward to Eunice. Looking to keep it in play. Oh, does really well to do so, and he's won the throw. Marcus Eunice, man. I know he's a player that Wanderers fans rate really highly, and he's had some really good moments here since coming off the bench. Kitzel, they look to be offside there. We play on. Throw in. Another change here for Sydney FC, and it's the goal scorer coming off. Fabio Gomez to be replaced by young striker Mitch Glasson. Well done tonight, Gomez. He was good. Missed an absolute sitter in the first half, didn't he? He had so many chances throughout the entire match, though. And finally got his goal. Was there at the right moment to put it home into an empty net. And now replaced by Mitch Glasson, a young striker who has had limited minutes for Sydney FC this season, but those minutes have come off the bench for him. Wanderers on the attack still. Even Marcelo's forward. Simmons delivering it. What a chance! It's in! Sydney do it again! Western Sydney! And it's Zach Sapsford again! Can you believe it? What a moment! 1-1! Scenes in the RBB! Incredible! Incredible! What a moment for Western Sydney Wanderers. Pushing late on. Devastating for Sydney FC, who have been so good tonight. What a delivery from Aiden Simmons. And in what has gone on with the defending there? Sydney FC, who have been immaculate in defence tonight, just fell asleep. 3 unmarked players at the far post. And Zabsford calmly heads it into the back of the net. And as he did in the first derby this season, he does it again. Insane. And how about the celebrations as well? Wanderers fans absolutely loving it. 10 matches this season for Sapsford, 2 goals, and they've both come in Sydney derbies at Allianz Stadium. He shows up in the big games. To Zach Sapsford, a player who spent time at the Sydney FC Academy as well. And now scoring crucial goals for the red and black. As John says here in the chat, Sapsford has done it again in the derby. Tarnley's rating Sapsford over Antonson. Oh, chance for Sydney. Well, how much time do we have left? How much time? Is there a winner? Is there more drama? Parias trying to win the ball. Priestman looking for Eunice. Is there time for Sydney FC to maybe snatch it back? Lolly down the right-hand side. Joe Lolly still going, holding up the ball now. 7 minutes have been played. It comes to Kaczewski. Oh, it's in! Drama! Insane! Jaden Kaczewski wins it! 2-1! Incredible! Incredible scenes! End-to-end football! And Kaczewski may have well just secured a home elim final for Sydney. And it's a goal that might go a long way to maybe, just maybe, knocking Wanderers out of finals contention. Joe Lolly holding the ball up, feeding it to Caceres, who swung the ball in, and Kaczewski's bouncing effort goes over everyone and into the back of the net. Wow, indeed, Jay Dizzle. We can't believe it. Oh, incredible. And that, I tell you what, that might well be the final kick of the game. That is just unbelievable. This is one of the most incredible finishes to a Sydney derby we've ever seen. Sydney 2, Wanderers 1. Jaden Kaczewski with just his 3rd goal of the campaign. And it's the most important. Celebrations at either end of the stadium. Wanderers thought they had the equaliser. Sydney go up the other end and score the winner. Surely there's no more drama. There isn't. It's full time. Sydney FC with the 3 points. Go up to 4th on the ladder. What a match. What a finale. Incredible Sydney derby action. Wanderers have been left stunned. Sydney FC. Jubilation. Celebrations in the stands. A fiercely contested Sydney derby. Sky Blues overall the better team in my eyes. Probably deserved the win. What drama late on. 2 goals in injury time. Zach Sapsford. Cannot believe it. He thought he had the moment once again, and the Wanderers fans are stunned. Incredible, man. Incredible. What drama. Absolute scenes indeed, Dr. Dingo. Cheers for tuning in, Sam. Congratulations to your Newcastle Jets for winning earlier tonight. In the A-League Women's Elimination Final, the camera is on Michael Rudan, who isn't showing too much emotion. Wanderers, are they fizzling out once again this season? That's 2 consecutive losses for Western Sydney, who now sit in the most precarious position when it comes to finals football. Wanderers 6th on the ladder. And guess who they play next week? It's the team right below them in Melbourne City. If Melbourne City win tomorrow against Perth Glory, which they could well do, Wanderers will be only 1 point ahead of them. Wanderers could well fall out of the top 6 next week, man. It's pretty insane looking at the drama that's happening all over the table this year in the A-League men's as this season, the regular season draws to a close. Wow. Tarnley says next week is do or die for the Wanderers. Absolutely. And they're showing the ladder on the broadcast as well. Yep. Wanderers as well. Now 4 points behind both MacArthur and Sydney. So there's little hope of Wanderers having a home elimination final. At this rate, it could well come against Melbourne Victory, who they, funnily enough, face in the final game of the season. So Sydney FC next week have an away trip to MacArthur SC and then home to Perth Glory next week. That'll be a huge game. 2 teams level on points, MacArthur and Sydney. Western Sydney Wanderers, Melbourne City at home next week, then Melbourne Victory away. Incredible. Dr. Dingo says, I'm going to be possibly the maddest I've ever been if we lose to Perth tomorrow. Of course, Dingo referring to Melbourne City. City surely going to win tomorrow, man. Surely. That's definitely the expected result. What a match we've witnessed here tonight, though. Jaden Kaczarski, the hero. Incredible, too. Sydney fans just everyone in the stadium, holding their breath as that ball bounced up. And you thought, was Thomas going to get to that? Was it Gabriel Clerc going to clear that out? And it dramatically, almost in slow motion, falls into the back of the net. And incredible scenes as the fans celebrate with the players. What a moment for Jaden Kaczarski, a young star who's, in the last couple of seasons, really shown his quality. What a player. 2-1 in the derby, man. 2-1 in the derby. Could have easily ended 1-1. Could have easily ended 3-3, to be fair. Wanderers hit the woodwork on 2 occasions. Fabio Gomez could have had a hat-trick. The goals came in the second half. Gomez with the first. Zapsford with the goal for Wanderers. And then Jaden Kaczarski with the winner in the end. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to these watch-alongs as always. Appreciate the support as always. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out if you want to support the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so if you want to stick around for more A-League content, Australian football content. And man, this has been one of the more dramatic watch-alongs we've done here on Coast Watch Football. A insane finale to a massive, massive Sydney derby matchup. Sydney FC players are going to enjoy these post-match celebrations with their fans. That goal to Jaden Kaczarski lifts them to 38 points and 4th on the ladder. They're in prime position to potentially even jump all the way to 3rd. Who knows? They could even, maybe, host Western Sydney Wanderers in the elimination final in a few weeks' time. That could eventuate. We'll wait and see what happens from here on out. Guys, once again, thanks so much for tuning in. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football, and I'll see you in the next one.